I want to start from a story that happened many years ago, but for me it was some story that teach me something. And the story was, I was in the army, and my our troop, we ate something in dining room, and our commander asked from the cookman or cook, chef, asked or cook. He asked him to make sunny side eggs. 2. He says, okay. After few minutes, this cook went and gave him scrambled eggs. He says, no, I don't want scrambled eggs. Make me 2 sunny side eggs. He says, okay. So what I do with this scrambled egg? I'll give him to this soldier. He gave to one soldier. Okay. He went out to the kitchen, come back from there, and he says, I again didn't succeed. It's again scrabble. I'll give you to someone else. Okay, gave it to someone else. And then he went again back, and he brought with 1 sunny side egg, and now there was like this. He says, no, give it to this. I want 2 good, make good. He went, and after a few minutes he came and said, listen, Commander, I have a wonderful idea. Maybe you want an omelet? I can make you very good omelet. He says, no, make me 2 eggs, sunny side. And he says, but I don't know how, I don't know why, but I don't not succeed to do that. And he was angry at him, and he insulted him, and he said to him about him all kinds of things. What kind of chef you are? You are a chef of there. You learned that. What's kind of such a simple thing? What happened to you? You are stupid. And he was you are invalid. All kinds of things he had about him, and he felt terrible. And I think that this kind of situation happened to us also. But not with scrambled eggs or with sunny side egg, but with something else, something that's simple thing that you are supposed to do, or you expected from you to do something and you are not able, or it doesn't work, or sometimes you judge yourself and you relate yourself like something that you're like a very, very low level. You think about yourself that you're not so worthwhile. Why? Well, because you didn't succeed to do something, or you didn't learn something, or you don't have enough money for that, or you are or each of us have something that we measure ourselves, we compare ourselves to other people, and we measure ourselves by something that it's not so important, but for us it's important. And we relate to ourselves like something that not so successful, not so worthwhile. Why? Because some stupid thing. Because you're poor, or you have no education, or all kind of things. And the problem is that we, I do psychological counseling. You say it? Yeah. Already 25 years. Every day, I meet people that comes to me and make this counseling. And after all those years, I can summarize, and my conclusion is that one of the main problems of most of the people, I mean, I would say maybe main problem, most of the people, it's self-esteem. It's what you think about yourself. Not what people did to you, or your some mistake that you make, or some problem that you have. The root of everything, usually when you start, what the counseling, psychology counseling make, you try to analyze you always look for the problem that cause you this kind of, or no, I'm looking for the root of the problem, not the problem itself, because problems, they changed. But in counseling, you are looking for what caused you this problem. And when you aware of this, those things that create this problem, then you can cure yourself. Then you can get rid of this problem that you have when you aware of a problem. So one of the big part of counseling is to understand together what lead you to this situation that you feel uncomfortable there. And after all investigation and all thing that I try to understand, in the end, usually I come to the situation that person doesn't appreciate himself. He thinks that he is not so worthwhile. And that's why he has problem with this and that and that and that. And why we have this kind of relation to ourselves? It's because we compare ourselves with other people. We always compare. And when you see that you're not so successful, you're not so clever, you're not so that, not so strong, not so nice, not so that, and you see other people, they are. So you think to yourself, okay, yeah, I'm second class. You're low level. And when you have a low level, you try to all kind of make a lot of confusions, a lot of problems that it cause. You try to make them little, or you try to compete with them. All kind of things. There is a story in Gemara, in Baba Batra, in Tractat Baba Batra, in page 15. It's written about a story about Yov. You remember a story about Yov? I told you a few words. It was a righteous person, Yov, and maybe I'll tell you the story from beginning in Gemara. Like Gemara tell this story. It was like this. There came a lot of angels to see Hashem. Hashem and Satan was among those angels. And Hashem asked the Satan, "What did you see? What you saw in the world?" And Shalom. And Satan says, I were in all the world, I saw all kind of people, and all kind of things. And my conclusion is, that's what Satan says, my conclusion is that in all generation, in all the world, all time, there is nobody good like Abraham. And Hashem asked Satan, and did you see my slave, my servant, Iyov, that he is very righteous person? And Satan says, yes, I saw him, but he is not so good as Abraham. And Hashem, why? As he says, because at Abraham you give him all, you test him. You give him all kind of how say trials, yes. And Yov not. Yov, he's rich and he's healthy, and why he shouldn't be righteous? Of course he's righteous, but not like Abraham. So Hashem says, okay, so try him, test him. He try, and Yov still stay righteous. And then again, Gemara says, second time, said this story. Again, all angels came, and Satan was among them, and Hashem asked Satan, what did you see in this world? And he says, I saw a lot of people, this and that, but nobody look like Abraham. And did you see Yov? Yes, I saw him, but he is not like Abraham. This says Hashem asks you, okay, tell him, give him another trial. Now, when we analyze this story, we have to pay attention that suddenly the Satan, he is very good friend of Abraham. He loves Abraham suddenly. How it can be? He have to be against of Abraham, Satan against of righteous. Why he is such a big friend of Abraham? He's loves him, he admire him, he appreciate him. It shouldn't be like this. But we learn from that very important conclusion. We learn that what did Satan? He make Abraham be as a criterion for other people.
Like a role model.
Pardon?
Like a role model. Of a pattern,
yes.
Standard prototype.
Yes, exactly. He, if you please sit there. I'm afraid of Corona and all kinds of things. I cannot be with. You understand? When Abraham, our father, our great righteous person, all the time, but when he became for us something that you compare yourself with him or somebody else, you compare with Abraham. He is criterion for you. So Abraham, he became a Satan. It's not Abraham, it's a Satan himself. Satan.
Or Samek. Satan. Yeah.
Satan.
The evil.
Again.
The accuser.
Accuser. Because no, it doesn't make a difference if he is good, righteous. Doesn't make a difference. If you compare yourself with somebody, how you can compare? Everybody is something special in his way. How you can compare? When you compare yourself with somebody, that is from. It comes from evil side of the world. Because it's stupid to compare. How you can compare? Can you compare between cherry and watermelon?
Yes.
Well, it depends what you're comparing.
Exactly.
Like the nutritional value, maybe.
You understand? It's important. It's important to us to understand this topic. Yes, please, Moshe.
But how can we grow if we don't comparison?
Yes,
So
yes,
for example, I'm trying to work on tefillah.
yes, yes,
And I can
yes.
see how people daven, and it's not that I'm jealous or like I don't.
Yeah,
want
I
to,
understand.
I want to reach that level.
Okay, that it's important. Important question. I try to understand this idea. You can compare always between two equal things. When you say they are almost equal, but they are different, there is difference between them, right? They're not exactly the same, though that they look like. Then you can compare between them. But when you compare between book and the cell phone, how you can compare? They are different. And if we do compare between them, we understand that for each of them there's something that they have privilege from another. There is like a privilege between the pen and the paper. This is better than this pen, and this pen is better than page. How say sheet?
Sheet of paper.
Sheet of paper. Sheet of paper. This each of them they have some adifut, we say privilege, some itaron, advantage, one from another. The cherry has advantage from in front watermelon. So if it has advantage, it's better than watermelon, and watermelon better than cherry. Each of them they have advantage of another. So if and that in this way you can relate to everything in the world. Only between equal things they have no advantage. They can it's a difference. But this is not difference. This is advantage. So when we talk about people, each of us, we like a cherry and the strawberries and the watermelon. Each person, he is better than somebody else. And there is nobody in the world, in all, not just in the world, in all history, not just now, but in all history, there were never somebody like you. So it means that you are better than all the world. Not just different, not just special, but better, like have advantage. You are better than all the world.
And also, if you look like how we are born, like it was really a race, when man and woman come together, it's like we're really winners, because we win from all the other cells.
נכון.
So, yeah.
And that is the difference between what Judaism teach and and what really usually happen in our day-by-day life. How people relate to each other, how they grow, how they educate their children, and all kind of things. In Judaism, we says that you should know that you have to love yourself. You have to be in love with yourself, to appreciate yourself, to love yourself, to be like
Narcissist.
how say?
A narcissist.
No,
And-
there's
No, no.
healthy self-love.
Yeah, yeah, to be in love with yourself. And what it means, if you're in love with yourself, that it means that you will be able to love somebody else also, because you understand that he is also very special fruit. He is also strawberry or
Melon.
watermelon. He is also different in special way that nobody never was like you. Like him, I'm sorry. Yes? So you then when you love yourself, then you only then you be able to love somebody else. And that's why the verse in Torah says you should love your neighbor as yourself. And if you don't love yourself, if you're not in love with yourself, you cannot love somebody else, your neighbor. And Rabbi Akiva says that this is the main verse in all the Torah. And the problem is that person can be very proud and he can be very think that only him have some advantage or all kind of things that we have to fix them also. But it's after. But we have to start from the understanding that you should love yourself. And what the problem is, why it's such a simple thing. By the way, everything that I told you that it's written in a lot of sources in Judaism. It's not only in Torah. I cannot translate you now all those things, but you should know. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit in Hebrew and I'll translate. But you should know that it's not my opinion. People that learn here for already a long time, they know that I try not to say to you anything that it's what I think. I try to base everything on what Chazal says, Maharal says, Rav Kook, Gemara, and all that. It's impossible. It's important that you will aware about that. So I'll try to translate. It's difficult a little bit. יש באישיות הפרטית של כל יחיד עניין איכותי יותר נשגב ונעלה ממה שיש בכלל כולו על ידי ערך הקיבוץ שלו, והצד העליון הזה, האישי, הוא המאיר ומחיה את הכלל כולו. That Rav Kook says in a book that calls Arpilei Toar in page 51. And he says like this, in personality of each person, everybody, there is some quality higher than exist, not only higher than other people, but it's higher than all people together if you collect all of them in all history and all the time. It's not just I am better than you. I am better than you and all the world and all the history, all the people that everywhere. And you are better than me. And more than all of people in the world. Sfat Emet says in his commentary to the book Vayikra, Parashat Bechokotai, in age Tarlab, it's 5,632. Yeah? And he says like this, כל אדם נברא על דבר מיוחד, מה שאי אפשר לאדם אחר לתקן, רק הוא. Everybody was created in some special mission that nobody in the world, in all history, can fulfill this mission. Only you. Another source, Pri Tzadik, Parashat Shkalim, Ot Dalet. A book called Pri Tzadik. Wrote this book Rab Tzadok Milublin. He's one of the greatest rabbis in past 100 years. Not 100 years ago, maybe 150 years ago already. And he says like this, אבל באמת, כל אחד מישראל הוא מוגדל בדבר אחד על כל ישראל. Everybody in Israel, he is bigger than any other Jew in Jewish nation. Understand? You are better than Rambam. You are better than Rambam. You are better than Rab Tzadok Milublin. You are better than Agra. You are better than Rabbi Akiva. You are better. Not just different. Not just you have some good quality. You are better than Rabbi Akiva. Just a moment. Like cherry, better than pineapple or than strawberry. It's better. And that's what he says. And not only Agra and Rambam and the great Tzaddik, but all them together, you are better than them they are. Yes, you wanted to say something?
Now, are you referring to the gifts that Hashem has given us, and that Hashem gave us certain gifts, certain missions, and that only we can do, and we're better at that gifts and mission than anywhere else in the world combined? Is that what you're referring to?
Mm-hmm. Yes. ובדבר זה הוא בחינת מלך על כל ישראל. And in this like a shape, you're like a king. You can be king of all Israel. וכל אחד יש לו דבר אחד שבזה הוא נכתר בכתר על כל ישראל. And each of us have something that he has crown, that his crown above all other people in the world. And not just that I can run faster than Rambam when he was 70 years old. Not just I am run faster than him, but in learning Torah, I better than Rambam. Not that I cook better than Rambam. I learn Torah better than Rambam. How it can be? That if Rambam knew everything that I know and can learn Torah better than me, that he will already include everything that I can imagine, I wouldn't come to this world. I wouldn't born, because Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't waste his souls for nothing. He wouldn't bring this soul that already was included in Rambam. If I am here, it means that I have something that Rambam couldn't do. Otherwise, why I was born? He did already. He already exists. Of course, Rambam learned Torah better than me, no doubt. But I learned Torah better than Rambam, and no doubt. How it can be? There is some way of learning that he better, and there is some way of learning that I better. Who said that? Rav Kook. Listen, Makor, it's written in Orot Torah, Amud Yud Aleph. There is a book that calls The Light of Torah. Rav Kook wrote. What?
Yeah, we have Orot Torah. No, it's right there. Literally right there.
Orot Torah.
The black ones on the top.
Uh-huh. Wonderful. Just a moment. Orot Torah. It's maybe it's the same, will be. Just a moment. Yud Aleph. About here it goes about pages. It's not they didn't translate by pages, but maybe let's try. I don't think that it's pages. No, I can find now. It will take a long time, but I'll find. Okay, you should. You have a lot of Torah in Hebrew? No. Okay, does make a difference. Okay, next time. בלי נדר. He says like this. כל הלומד תורה הוא מוציא מכוח אל הפועל את המציאות חוכמתה מצד נפשו. Each one that learned Torah, יש? מצוין. Maybe it will be better to read it in really in English. Let's just a moment. It's not the same book. It's Orot. It's book called Orot. It's not Orot Torah. There is another book, different, it's called Orot Torah.
You wrote two books, both with similar titles?
No, there is book of Orot. Orot, lights. This is a translation of the book, lights. There is another book that calls Light of Kodesh.
By the Rav Kook?
By Rav Kook, Ken. Another book. It calls Light of Kodesh, Orot HaKodesh. There is another book. It calls Orot HaTorah, Light of by Rav Kook, Light of Torah. There is Orot HaTorah, Orot HaKodesh. Then there is a few books.
He really loves lights.
Yes, exactly. He was light. He was light himself. Okay, so but I'll translate you. He says the way how you learn Torah, you make Torah be actualization of Torah. You bring Torah to this world in the way, this angle, as you see this Torah, nobody else can see. Not that you just do something new that wasn't written. No, the way, your point of view of Torah itself is more value than others. Unique. And his way, unique. And that it makes you be able to love everybody because he's also unique and you're unique. And that is real good relation to other people. Not that I'm nothing and other people they are good, or nobody is not is nothing and only me good, and all those things. But everybody is unique, and that's how you relate. It's like, I think once I already explained you this phenomenon that in our eye, I don't know how it's in English. This is like a black in our eye.
Nucleus. Pupil.
How is it in English?
Pupil.
Pupil.
Na angliski je to pupil, da.
Pupil. And in the end of our eye, there is something that this like a screen, that light that comes. He make this in this screen. How is it? It's like something it connected like a net. It's look
Retina.
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 Retina. Yeah.
Retina.
Optic disc
Retina.
noemen je dat.
How is it in English?
Retina. R-E-T-I-N-A.
Very good. Yes.
Oh, on that part, yeah, retina on that.
And all that, yes. And then it comes to, there is something go to brain. Yeah, it comes to brain. So that thing in our eye is unique. There is nobody else in the world that have the same retina. Like our in fingers, print fingers. So like this is special, and so it means that nobody in the world can see this pen like you, and everybody from us here, we see this pen different. A little bit, tiny difference. Like we cannot, who is not specialist, who is not expert, he doesn't know how to divide between different print of fingers. But who is special, who is expert, he knows how to do that. So the same, we see all of us. We have something common between us, that it's pen, that it's red, and this and that, right? But there is no two people in the world that they see the same, because this retina is it's individual, it's unique, it's only you. And like you perceive the reality, this world, and nobody else can perceive like you, the same Torah you perceive different than me. I know maybe better, or I know more, I have more knowledge, I know maybe I analyze more deep, but not like you. But what's the problem? The problem is that our parents, they grow up, they grow us up, they raise us in addition, and in 10 tendency, like to help us by what? By that they correct us. They thought that by that they correct us, they make us something good. Don't break the glass, don't spit, don't bite, don't that, and all the time they told us that we should do something better. So who are you now? You are not so good, and that is a way how we perceive ourselves. I'm not so good. I'm full of mistakes. Our first impression about ourselves is somebody that it's not so good. Because mommy says, why you brought that? Why you did that? And she wanted good for us. Yeah. But she wanted something good for us. She thought that when she will correct us, then we will learn what not to do next time. That's why they told us that, right? But that they make mistake. The parents should build first of all for children their self-esteem, their good image of themselves. They should tell to children, wow, you are special, you are wonderful, there is nobody like you. And that is the truth. Why they didn't tell us that? Because they wanted good for us and they didn't learn, they didn't know. And they say, okay, you don't know how to make this sunny side up eggs. You understand? If you brought this glass, there is huge difference between the glass was broken, then you broke this glass. It's not the same. Glass was broken? Okay, I also sometimes break glasses. It can't happen to me. Okay, bring this some thing and we'll collect that because that okay, so it's nothing. You just broke the glass. I also sometimes take this another glass again and we'll try and put it again there, and you'll see that you'll be able to do that very good. Their goal, their aim should be to give you to give you ability to believe in yourself, to love yourself, to be in love with yourself. And how you can be to be in love with yourself if you, this kind of guy that broke glasses, don't know how to put plate on this table. You don't see that this is not but you put here this plate. Are you disabled? Are idiot? You don't know that the plate will broken if you put here. You don't see. You don't have eyes. You are blind. All kind of things. How you can love yourself if you listened, if you've heard that from a very young age. How you can love? You know that you're not so successful. You're not so good. And you compare yourself with your father. That father never break glasses. Father, this is Abraham. It means Satan.
Not like the others. Different Satan, of course. Stop check.
Well, most importantly, you don't want to do it
Insane.
again. If you don't learn, then you're gonna learn. If you're a little kid, you put it there, it's gonna break. Next time, you probably won't do that.
Yeah. And other things also. Not only that, and other things also.
Yes.
You limit yourself. You limit yourself, and you think that you measure yourself by your ability to make sunny side up
Eggs.
eggs.
You say the most important thing is to love yourself. But how we can repair this if we don't do this because of much different reasons?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have people, they are traumatized, they have something in the background, make them that they don't love themselves.
Yes.
How do we repair this when we have this?
Then you come to me as a psychologist, and you make counseling, and we talk about that long conversation and a few years, and then. But really, if it's we can fix that by understanding, by talking about that, by analyze your past, your childhood. You understand that, and when you understand, you get rid of this view.
Yes, because you say when you told about our eyes, what we see, everyone, what he see, it's very unique. It's also, I think, with our ears, when we listen all together to what you told us, everyone hears something different.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so unique, so it's wonderful.
Thank you very much. I've heard that in my unique ears.